Oh, welcome in! Episode 145. What's Right with Nick Wright. What a show we have for you today. I was up till 2:30 in the morning. Just Diorra is here. She will be introduced momentarily, or I guess I just did introduce her. But I was up until 2:30 in the morning just buzzing off the fact of how blessed we are as sports fans. That we have gotten to watch for 20 years now the greatest athlete who has ever lived somehow finding new heights to reach well after his prime, well after any realistic expectations, 60+ thousand minutes in the same year. He breaks the all-time scoring record in the regular season, well after he had already broken the all-time scoring record for the playoffs, setting a career high in rebounds. I mean, we'll get to it. Also, Aaron Rodgers is traded. We will talk a little Diorra life stuff, whether she wants to or not. We have so many good things to discuss today. I'm telling you right now, we're probably going to need 20 minutes on the first segment clock. So much to get to. Oh, yeah, and oh, by the way, Jimmy Butler drops a double nickel plus a penny to go up 3-1 on the Bucks. All that is coming up on the show. Put your comments or questions in the chat. Subscribe on YouTube, by the way. I think we're right around 110,000 subscribers. You can also, of course, subscribe on Spotify or iTunes. You can do all of that. We would appreciate that. Watching on YouTube allows you to see our awesome graphics department. And if I'm being honest, my just gorgeous Versace tennis shoes I'm wearing today. Here's what missed the cut.
Legs up extra high today.
Say it again?
You're making sure your legs up extra high today.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to make sure people can see it. You need to get, while I'm doing this, you need to get that microphone closer to your face so people can hear you better. Here's what missed the cut. The Rockets hiring Ime Udoka. LeBron, a book by Jeff Benedict, has been released, which is making people wonder if book club is coming back. And Randall Cobb signed by the Jets. That is not official, but we assume that is happening because Aaron Rodgers is now a Jet. All of that is not on the show. Diorra, what is on the show today?
So, while Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
was traded to New York City
Yes, he was.
yesterday, but somehow we aren't starting with
No,
that,
we're not.
actually.
There's bigger news, my friend.
Instead, we'll start with your bestie, LeBron. And I guess he did something pretty cool last night. He tied the game with a second left, and then the Lakers won in overtime to go up 3-1 on Memphis.
Yeah.
So be honest, are you more relieved with the win or concerned that the Lakers almost blew their chance to win?
Well, listen, that would have been a horrible loss. They had total control of the game in the first half, and then the final 3 minutes of the second quarter, they let Memphis back in it. Memphis went on a 14-1 run to cut a 15-point lead to a 2-point lead, and at halftime I was anxious because Memphis had played so poorly, and yet they were right there, and you had to be concerned that, oh man, they're going to start hitting some shots. Somebody is going to get hot, and how are the Lakers going to respond? Because once again, Anthony Davis was just a total no-show. I think he had one made field goal in the first half. In fact, I don't have to tell you. I think I can double-check that to be sure. Anthony Davis in the first half. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong about that. He was 0 for 5 in the first half. So, that happens, and then the Grizzlies, not unexpectedly, take a lead. And then they're up 7 in the fourth. And it looked like LeBron simply didn't have it. He looked gassed. It seems like the plantar fasciitis, which was supposed to be a season-ending injury, had stolen some of his burst from him. He couldn't hit a shot. He hasn't been able to hit a three this entire series. He's now
Yeah,
5.
he's the best player.
Well, I'll get to that. You were, dreaming, counting sheep during this game. So let me paint the picture for you, my love, and explain to you why, despite being 5 for 27 from 3 in the series, despite not having it, he was brilliant when it mattered most. So LeBron didn't have it offensively. So what was he going to do to put his imprint on the game? Well, he's going to run the offense, played 45 minutes, had 1 total turnover, create open shots for others, and have a career-high 20 rebounds. Career high. Guy's played almost more games than anyone in NBA history, has never had a 20-rebound game until last night. But that's not the story either. The story is, on a night he didn't have it, when this is the critical game of the series, you go up 3-1, you win 95% of series, NBA history. At 2-2, now it's a best of 3, with Memphis having home court, going back to Memphis, and the Lakers look gassed. And something's off with AD. Down 2. 8 seconds left. Ball in LeBron's hands. Is he going to settle for a 3? Is he going to drive and kick? Gets to his right. That is really... Do you hear that, Diorra?
What is that?
That's mice running through the walls.
No, it's not.
It is. I knew you were going to freak out. That is. Listen, we're in a New
that
York...
is not what that is.
That absolutely is what that is. But let me get back to the LeBron thing. I knew that was going to freak you out. That's just mice running through the walls. There's an ice cream shop next door.
I think you're messing with me.
Okay, I'm not messing with you.
I think it was a chair moving.
Okay, sure. It was a chair moving. If that makes you feel better.
Stop.
Okay. 8 seconds left. LeBron gets to his right against the best defensive team in the Western Conference with the defensive player of the year and teardrops it off the top of the backboard in. Overtime, here we come. Then, actually pre-overtime, there's 0.8 left. Anthony Davis blocks Ja Morant's shot. LeBron gets the ball 60 feet from the basket, heaves it, makes it. It was after the buzzer had expired by about a second, so he makes it. But it doesn't count. We go to overtime. In overtime, 3-point game, 30 seconds left. After LeBron hit another layup over Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr., he's got Dylan Brooks. Oh, professional wrestling heel Dylan Brooks. Chirping all week. LeBron drives left, gets the foul, and 1. Good luck, good night. 22 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, 2 charges taken, 45 minutes played, 1 turnover, and a 3-1 series lead. We've never, ever seen anything like this. LeBron has played 4 playoff games in year 20. All players in league history. Where do these 4 games rank as far as points in a game for a player in year 20? First, second, 5th, and 6th. Kareem has 2 sandwiched in there. Didn't have it offensively, so he gives you 20 rebounds. Knew he was out of gas, but saved just enough to make the game-tying shot. And then enough to make the game-sealing shot in overtime. And just for some context, because we're going to talk some of the LeBron clutch stuff later, but this is an unbelievable stat. In the last 25 years, LeBron James, in his career, but is now 7 of 12. 7 of 12. That's 58% on shots in the playoffs to tie or take the lead with 1 second or less remaining. Every other league MVP in the last 25 years combined is 6 of 27 on those shots. Steph, 0 for 1. Kobe, 2 for 6. Durant, 1 for 6. In fact, you know what? I think it's actually worse than that because that list doesn't include Russell Westbrook. We can show it to you. It is Unbelievable. What he did last night. I'm going to give you one other stat. And Kobe fans, I love and respect Kobe Bryant. But it's just the numbers. I want to make sure I have this right. LeBron James has played 4 career playoff games at Staples/Crypto. He now, or 5 career playoff games, pardon me. He has as many games where in the playoffs where he tied or took the lead with a second remaining as Kobe did in his entire Laker career. Kobe did it 1 game ever. Game 4 of the playoffs in 2006 or 7 to go up 3-1 on Phoenix, a series they ended up actually losing. LeBron has now done it in his 5th Laker home game ever in the playoffs. Just unbelievable. Somehow, it was not the most unbelievable performance of the evening. Diorra, let's get to that.
Okay. Jimmy Buckets went nuclear, and Milwaukee is somehow down 3-1. Butler dropped a Heat playoff record 56 points. Wait.
Yeah.
Didn't LeBron play for the Heat?
Yeah.
So he scored more than LeBron ever did.
In the playoffs, yeah. And
Interesting. No, that's all I wanted the answer to.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Did we just see playoff Jimmy kill the number 1 seed Bucks?
All right, so because of what you just said, I'm going to say, because Reggie Miller said that's the greatest Heat playoff game ever. Reggie, take a deep breath. Jimmy was unbelievable, but the 45, 15, and 10, 45.
Yeah, because no one could be better though.
No, right? The 45, 15, and 5 that LeBron had with the blueprint game, Game 6 against the Celtics in 2012 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Boston, that is. Now, maybe you could argue this is the best Heat playoff game in that building, but D-Wade had some finals games. LeBron obviously had some games that would take issue with that, but it's an all-time game. And Jimmy Butler is an all-time playoff performer. Jimmy Butler has 0 40-point regular season games with the Heat. He now has 7 40-point playoff games. 56 points on, 28 shots is just bananas. It's not supposed to happen ever, much less in the postseason, much less when the other team has Giannis. And he did it not because they were facing elimination. He did it to go up 3-1. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane what Butler did. And those of us that were saying the Heat were a scary first-round team, as I didn't care what they were in the regular season. Here's what we know. They have the best coach in the NBA in Eric Spoelstra, and they've got a guy who is like the 20 or 21st or 22nd best player in the league in the regular season, and then becomes a top 10 guy without a doubt in the postseason. Without a doubt. And he deserves so much credit, man. So much credit for being such. So Jimmy Butler, in the last 4 years, here's what he's done with Miami. 3 years ago, in 2012, which was his first year with Miami, drags that team to the finals, has an all-time finals game. I'm going to give you the stat line on it because it was just an all-time going blow for blow with LeBron performance. In game 3 of those finals, he had 40, 11, and 13. Then, facing elimination in the finals, has 35, 12, 11 with 5 steals. They end up losing LeBron in 6. The next year, they get knocked out by Milwaukee in round 1. So be it. The next year, last year, they're the 1 seed. They are injured, facing elimination Game 6 in Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. He has 47, 9, 8, and 4, and they win. And then in Game 7 of those Eastern Conference Finals, he plays all 48 minutes, has 35 and 9, and has a 3 at the end of the game to win, and he just misses it. Thus far in this series against the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks, he is averaging 37, 6, and 5 on 63% shooting and 53% from 3. He's a playoff legend, man. There's just no getting around it. Now, I don't think the Bucks are dead. I am very excited to see how Giannis responds. Game 5 at home, they 100% should win. Then Game 6 in Miami, see what Giannis can channel. And then you would have Game 7 back at home. Their backs are against the wall. Giannis is still the best player in the world. However, as some of us expected, Spoelstra is coaching circles around Budenholzer. And Budenholzer must be better. But that's an all-time Butler game. All-time. That's only... I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head. And then I'm going to check and see if I'm right. I think the only playoff games where anyone has scored more than Jimmy's 56 last night is Donovan Mitchell's 57 a couple years ago. Elgin Baylor had 61 once, and Michael Jordan's famous 63-point game. I want to make sure that's the full list, but I'm fairly certain. Let me just go to Basketball Reference. Playoff leaders, single game points. Yeah. Elgin Baylor's, Jordan 63, Elgin 61, Donovan's 57, and then 3 other guys have had 56 other than Jimmy. Jordan, Barkley, in the best game of Barkley's career, and Wilt. When I was doing the NBA project, I rewatched one of these Barkley games. Not the 56. Barkley had 56 against the Warriors. That's not the game that I rewatched. I thought it was, but I'm wrong. And I text Charles. I'm not really like a text relationship with him, but I couldn't help myself and told him I just watched one of the best games I've ever seen. No, Barkley, it was a Game 7 against Seattle in the Western Conference Finals when he had 44 and 24. I think people forget what a monster peak Charles Barkley was. But Jimmy Butler, man, playoff Jimmy's a real thing, and he's a terrifying force to see on the other side of the court. All right, what's next, Diorra?
Okay, so our long national nightmare is finally over.
Yeah.
The Jets and Packers finally reached a deal to trade Aaron Rodgers. Here's the details.
All right, we can show the details on the screen. Let me sum these up for you because it seems, ignore the 5th and 6th round pick swaps. Here's the way to look at it, all right? Because I don't think it's been explained properly. What the Packers got for Aaron Rodgers is the following. They move up 2 spots in the first round this year from 15 to 13. They also get the 42nd pick this year. They also get the Jets' first round pick next year unless somehow Rodgers does not play at least 65% of the snaps, in which case they get the 2nd round pick from the Jets next year. So again, in overwhelming likelihood, barring a bad Rodgers injury, what the Packers got for Rodgers is you move up from 15 to 13, you get the 42nd pick, and a first rounder next year. Go ahead, Diorra.
Okay, so now that that's done, what's more likely for the Jets? They win the Super Bowl or this blows up in their face miserably?
Listen, I think the most likely outcome is neither, but of those two, far and away, it's most likely. If you're telling me it's one of these two things is guaranteed to happen, either they win the Super Bowl or this goes terribly, then the obvious answer is that it goes terribly. This team's not a Super Bowl team. Just not.
Okay.
Rodgers was not that good last year. When he was winning MVPs, he wasn't that good in the postseason. Everyone is for
Bold to say that living in New York City.
a lot. Here's the
Somebody
thing.
might get you out here.
I understand, and Knicks fans are already mad at me, and that's fine. And Giants fans were mad at me. Can't live my life that way. I can't. Your mom gets mad at me sometimes. You can't be talking bad about all these. I owe. You know who I owe my loyalty to? The audience. The audience deserves my God's honest opinion about all this stuff, and that's what they're gonna get. Here's the thing people have wrong about the Jets. The Jets' defense was unbelievable last year. Defense tends to wax and wane year to year. Top 3 defense one year far from guarantees a top 3 defense the following year. That's the first point. Second point is this. Rodgers at age 40, much like LeBron is doing in the NBA, Brady perverted our brains on what we think an aging quarterback's going to look like. You then add to the fact, I don't love the Jets coaching staff. I think they gave up a ton. I'm not sure how engaged Rodgers is going to be in the offseason. This, to me, has a ton of warning signs. Now, I get why, real quick, I get why they did it. You feel like you have an opportunity to take a shot this season, and you had a disastrous quarterback situation last year. Disastrous. So I understand why they did it, but they paid a heavy premium for a guy that could, if Rodgers ends up playing this year and they don't go on a real playoff run, and then he retires, you then traded the 42nd pick, your first rounder next year, and moved back in the first round this year 2 spots for what? They paid a heavy premium for folks saying, oh, the Jets have all the leverage. That's not how this negotiation ended up going. I like this trade for the Packers a lot more than I like it for the Jets. Go ahead, Nalo. Sorry.
Okay, so as a Chiefs fan, who are you more worried about, the Jets, Bengals, or Bills?
Oh, the Jets are not in that discussion to me.
Okay.
The Bengals and the Chargers are, to me, the 2 biggest competitors for the Chiefs. And then after that, it's the Bills and the Jags. And then after that, it would be the Jets and the Ravens, assuming Lamar is back with the Ravens, which I don't know if he will be. The Jets are not a contender. The Jets are a contender for a wild card spot, not a contender for the Super Bowl. You got another follow-up here?
So, what about the Packers?
Yeah.
Plant your flag, in or out on Jordan Love?
I haven't seen enough of him. I'm going to root for the guy. See, the Packers are clearly in on him. And I'll tell you this much. There is a non-zero chance he's the best quarterback in the NFC North next year. Kirk Cousins is cooked. Jared Goff, we'll see if he can duplicate what he did this year. And then Justin Fields, a huge unknown. Now, he could be the worst quarterback in that division, but we haven't seen enough of him. But I'm rooting for the guy. We're in overtime. Gosh darn it. All right, last. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Kings nearly took a stranglehold on the series, but Harrison Barnes happened.
Sucks.
But an even bigger loss for Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox fractured a finger on a shooting hand. DeMonte says he's got to play it through, but I wouldn't take the advice from DeMonte.
Okay, so let's show DeMonte's tweet. DeMonte said he's got to play through I sent a group text that I'm crushed about Fox's injuries. DeMonte wrote, "Gotta play through that," and then evidently whoever's posted the screenshot, they have DeMonte in their phone saved as Fox reporter. What are you saying, Diorra, about?
DeMonte hurt his finger a while ago.
How'd he hurt it?
Playing basketball.
Playing basketball. What did he do?
He hurt his finger, and he continued to play through it.
Yeah.
And now DeMonte's finger is permanently stuck, bent.
Yeah.
He cannot do anything with it,
It's
really.
deformed.
It literally does not go from not bending, and he's telling him to play through it. So if DeMonte says play through it, I do the exact opposite of that.
Okay, let's make sure we send this to DeMonte and we tweet this out. Is his sister making fun of his physical
I'm not
deformities?
making fun of him. I'm
You
just
are.
saying,
You are. But I think you're right on this one. There are a lot of things I would take Demonte's advice on. What to do and not to do. This is like actually, what's so funny about that text from Demonte is this oddly is something he is a firsthand expert on. What do you do if you suffer a significant finger injury while playing basketball and want to keep playing basketball? And his own experience would tell you, well, what you don't do is ignore it and just keep playing, or else you end up looking like an old offensive lineman with your finger mangled.
Like,
he can't even
at all times.
pour.
Like,
Yeah,
he'll be like, hi.
Yeah, he's gonna be so mad at you. Poor Demonte, before these shows, we all have to clap. And he can't even clap that great. I mean, he's a great-looking kid. He's doing great. I love him so much. He's just got unlucky. But that's bad advice he's giving De'Aaron Fox. What's the other question you have here?
Does this change your predictions that the Kings will win and in the Warriors dynasty?
I don't want to talk about this.
Oh, baby.
I don't want to talk about this. If Fox can't play, they can't win. And they're the better team. And this is where Warrior fans get mad at me, but these are just the facts on the ground as we all know them. In 2015, LeBron and the Cavs were better than the Warriors. And before the series even started, Kevin Love had his shoulder ripped out of socket by Kelly Olynyk and missed the series. And in Game 1, Kyrie Irving broke his kneecap and missed the rest of the series, and the Warriors won their first championship. In 2017, one of the greatest teams ever, the Warriors team with Kevin Durant, were playing a Spurs team that was unbelievable that season.
Spurs, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Well, because Kawhi Leonard left. Kawhi was still on the team. They were up, they being the Spurs, 22 points in the second half of Game 1. And then Zaza injured Kawhi. Kawhi missed the rest of the series, and the Warriors went on to win the title. 2018, the Warriors, with Kevin Durant, are trailing the 65-win Rockets 3-2. The Rockets have Game 7 at home. And at the end of Game 5, Chris Paul pulls his hamstring, misses the rest of the series, and the Warriors win title number 3. Last year, the Warriors in round 2 are in a dogfight with the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies' best player, Ja Morant, gets hurt. They go on to win that series. Ja misses the rest of the series, misses games from Game 4 on, and the Warriors go on to win the title. That is 4 years where either the player they had the most trouble guarding or the second best player on their biggest competition got hurt en route to them winning a title. Now, I understand Warriors fans, in 2019, you would have won the title if you didn't suffer injuries. I get it. But that's 4 rings where injuries played a major factor in your favor, 1 where it's gone against you. And now this year, a guy you can't guard breaks the tip of his finger at the end of Game 4, and now we'll see. It's such a bummer. I've been so happy today, and you brought me down. Take a 90-second break, come back. Don't forget your questions and comments in the YouTube chat. What's right? All right, welcome
back.
What? Excuse, young lady. I went over this with you before.
I've had a few people in the comments tell me that I should be the one to bring us back from breaks, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what, guys? Can we run the animation again? Tell me if we can run the animation.
Wait.
No. Well, all right,
Wait.
let's ready? Let's run it back. Run the animation again, and let's just have Diorra do it. It's episode 145, by the way, and don't forget to tell people to leave their questions and comments in the comment section. All right, and 3, 2, 1, roll the animation.
Hey guys, and welcome back from the break. This is episode 145. Leave some comments in the comments, and yeah. So next segment, this is the B block now.
Yeah.
Okay, Somehow we're still going to talk about LeBron. Last week you talked about how statistically LeBron is more clutch than Kobe. Last night definitely helped your case.
Yeah.
But Twitter took the cold hard stats and called them your opinion actually.
Yeah.
Let's
We can
see
show
the
you
animation.
the tweet. This is from Legion Hoops. You're doing a great job, Scoot. Nick Wright says LeBron is more clutch than Kobe, MJ, and Steph. Agree? Question mark. Now, and I don't know that I said he's more clutch than Jordan. I said the last 26 years that what the numbers were. That obviously doesn't include
Gotta
Jordan's
cover
whole
yourself
career.
now, huh?
Well, I want to say exactly what I said, but go ahead. Or you can read the rest of the question.
Okay, while others were out partying on their Friday nights, you were busy texting our producers to add this to today's show. My main question is, why are we still talking about this, and why are you bothering our producers on a Friday night?
Well, listen, What's Right
You
Show
may not
never
have a
sleeps.
life, but they do.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm sure some do and some don't. I mean, look at this crew of misfits. Not all of them.
Nah, they look like they're party animals.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think Victor probably, gets after it.
Gets
Daniel
after
might.
it. You sound like such an old man.
What do you mean?
I'm sure they get after
I'm
it.
sure Victor gets after it. Victor rides a motorcycle.
All right.
Doesn't. Kara, you know what? I'm still embarrassed because a year ago I accidentally called Kara the wrong job title, and I've still
What'd you
just.
call her? Yeah, what'd you call her?
I messed up. I don't want.
Sounds like it's about to be really bad. What did you call her?
I don't know. I said.
You should tell everyone what Kara does and what you thought she did.
She's our second in command producer.
And what did you think she was?
I said, look at the screen.
Oh no.
I got
Is
my.
it 'cause she's a woman?
No, it's not because. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be totally honest with you, and I hope the audience cuts me a break here. At the time I said that, we had a female intern on the TV show, and I just got it transposed in my head. So yes, kind of it was because she was a woman working on the show.
Cut that and
But
just
no,
don't say
no,
woman working on the
please,
show.
no.
Just put woman.
That wasn't, but I just
Somebody
got
cut out the
it
rest.
transposed in my head because I have a work group chat, and it wasn't great. As soon as I said it, I was like, ooh, I don't think that's right. And so, but now I'm distracted. I'm trying to talk. You threw me off here, trying to make me relive the most embarrassing moment of this show. So, as far as me texting them on a Friday night, I forget things. And so I just use the text chain hey, remind me to talk about this. That tweet irked me from Legion Hoops because forget the replies to it. The replies to it are just a hellscape. But it irked me because there is such adamant belief that LeBron is, when it comes to clutch stuff, LeBron is well below average, and Kobe and Steph and Kevin Durant, whomever you want, are legendary performers. And that is not a tenable opinion. That would be like that. You can't just say, I believe I'm 6'5" if you're 6 feet tall. You can't be like, well, it's what I believe. There are certain things that are objective facts.
Energy gives off 6'5".
Okay, sure, whatever. I identify as 6'5". You could say a lot of those things, but there are certain things that are just objective facts. And I want to talk about this before LeBron hit a layup over the Defensive Player of the Year with less than a second left to tie the game. And it, to me, is an interesting topic just because it does speak to how the media has the ability to warp our perception of things, even things we've seen. So most people who are watching this show or who are fans of this show have watched the entirety of LeBron's career. most of us, except for our very young viewers, have watched the entirety of Kobe's career. And that's why I replied to the tweet saying, I didn't say it. The historical record says it. Argue with the video, not with me. And the tweet that I put out there was, and I'll give you the details on it here as soon as I pull it up, where I just tweeted out in response to Legion Hoops. Again, I don't know why I'm arguing with Legion Hoops on a Friday night, but I get frustrated sometimes.
Even I was doing stuff on Friday night.
What I put up there was final minute of the fourth quarter of playoff games, or fourth quarter or OT. What are guys' field goal percentage? And LeBron, by the way, after last night, is now 22 of 45. And Kobe, in that exact same setting, was 9 of 31. And then we can, again, that's just the last 20 years, by the way. Kobe's entire career, he was 11 of 44. We can expand it. We can do it however you want to do it. 12 of 44, pardon me, for Kobe. LeBron's now 22 of 45, and Kobe's 12 of 44. But the media has hammered this point so much, the majority of people, even though they saw both careers, just take it as a fact and take my opinion, which is not an opinion, it's just the statistical record, they take that as a hot take. That's fascinating to me. The away ability, it's like almost a different version of the Mandela effect, which is where people have collective memories. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
The Mandela effect? Well, if the audience doesn't know what it is, there are certain things that unrelated people believe that never happened. So one of them is
like pictures or stuff that just everyone sees it a certain way, but it was never actually.
It was never actually there. So like a famous one is, the reason it's called the Mandela effect is, a lot of people believe Nelson Mandela died a couple decades ago in prison, but he didn't. A lot of people swear to this day that there was a movie in the 90s where Sinbad played a genie. They swear that happened, but that movie never existed. So that's the Mandela effect. It's the old kids card or children's book, the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears.
It's the Bernstein Bear.
Well, it's a stain or stain is what people get wrong on it, but doesn't matter. There's a lot of examples of this collective mismemory. This is kind of a media-induced sports version of it, where people have just told you for so long, this guy is something, this guy isn't something, that even though your eyes saw something different, people could take a polygraph to the effect of the opposite. All right, let's play a game.
Okay, so we're about to play Freak Out or Chill Out.
Yep.
So the first one is, the Suns are on their way to a gentleman's sweep of the Clippers, but that doesn't mean that they will be well rested. The Suns stars are averaging over 40 minutes a game. Can they keep it up? Should the Suns freak out or chill out?
Oh, I'd freak out, and I would chill out on the minutes. But if I were a Suns fan, I would freak out. This, to me, is a really noteworthy factor of this postseason so far. Right now, if we go to, and I'm going to pull it up so we have it exactly, the minutes leaders in these playoffs. Number 1, minutes per game, Kevin Durant, 44. Number 2, Devin Booker, 44. Tied for 9th, Chris Paul, 39. Flip side of that, which team's bench has scored the fewest points by far in these playoffs? The Phoenix Suns. So first of all, you keep playing these tight fourth quarters against a Clippers team that only has Russ. And shout out to Russ for this throwback performance. It's just brilliant what he's done. I didn't think he had it in him anymore. It's been unbelievable to watch. But so we're seeing, first of all, the Suns not be able to put a team away that's without its two best guys. you're then also seeing the Suns coach feel like, I can't trust anyone off my bench. So Kevin Durant at age 34, who's been injured each of the last 4 years, I'm playing him 44 minutes a game in round 1. And what I'm telling you is going to happen is he is either going to suffer some sort of soft tissue injury, or he is going to go into a slump and people are like, oh, what happened to KD? And what's going to have happened to him is he's going to be exhausted. And next round, they're in Denver playing at altitude. It's a recipe for disaster. So the Suns are super talented. I think they're not one guy. I think they're 2 guys short, and I would be concerned if I were them. So I would freak out.
Okay.
Next.
So NBA refs are under attack. DeJounte Murray was suspended for bumping a ref. Jason Tatum also fully shoved a ref, but no one's talking about it. The refs in Golden State were clearly scared that they'd be next, so they refused to give Draymond a second technical. Should the refs freak out or chill out? I think they should freak out.
Freak out about what? Tell me why.
I mean, I'd be scared I'm going to get hit by a 6-something basketball player, too.
Well, the refs don't actually hit... I'm sorry. I shouldn't say refs. The players are not going to actually hit the ref. What DeJounte Murray did is wild. What DeJounte Murray did is, objectively speaking, just wild. And he deserved to be suspended. I didn't see the Tatum thing until I saw it in the rundown, so I went and looked at it. That was kind of wild too, but because it was in the flow of the game, the refs just agreed to look the other way. What I will tell you is that the refs, I'm glad they didn't throw Draymond out of that game, but Draymond was playing with fire. The reason people thought he might get thrown out was because he already had a tech, and it's worse than what Nick Claxton got thrown out for. The refs, I think, need to just take a beat. They threw Dylan Brooks out of the game. He deserved it. Yeah, I think they need to chill out. They didn't throw Embiid out of the game when he probably did deserve it. They threw Draymond out of the game when he did deserve it. I don't have a ton of sympathy for Brooks, Draymond, or Embiid. Embiid got away with it because those guys have a history of flagrant fouls. They then threw Harden out of the game when he didn't deserve it. Can we just chill on the ejections? And for the players, really just DeJounte Murray, don't put your hands on the officials. It's ridiculous. All right, next.
Okay, so Kawhi missed back-to-back games with a knee sprain and is out again tonight. Now his team is on the brink of elimination because of his unavailability. Unavailability.
Yeah.
Should Clippers fans freak out or chill out?
Well, you got to freak out. This is a disaster. Kawhi's,
Do you think it's equal to if LeBron were to be injured and have to go out?
Well...
Or you think that's a bigger deal?
No, I think here's why this is a bigger deal for the Clippers. The Lakers already won a title with LeBron. And LeBron, everyone knows at this stage of his career, injuries are going to play a huge factor. Kawhi is supposed to be in his prime. They load managed him all year so he would be healthy for the playoffs. And by the Clippers' own definition, he was healthy for one playoff game. And then played through injury in game 2, and now is going to miss the rest of the series. Also, I thought it was very odd. They declared him day-to-day with a knee sprain, out for game 3. He then missed game 4. They then announced him out for game 5 yesterday, midday. So if you're day-to-day with a knee sprain, and the game is tonight...
Do you think he told them that?
Yes. I think he said, I'm not going to be able to play, guys. And I'm not saying he's not hurt. And I also understand Kawhi Leonard's going through a legitimate family tragedy right now. His sister's, I think, about to go to prison for a very long time.
For what?
Alleged murder. But if you're the Clippers, you mortgage your entire future for Kawhi and Paul George. You got Paul George because Kawhi wanted you to. I'm sure now he wishes he had asked for Jimmy Butler instead, or just asked for nothing and kept those assets and kept Shea. But the fact that Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers has never played in the conference finals and is now hurt again, and you can't rely on it in the regular season, you can't rely on him in the playoffs, When he's healthy, he's great. But the guy's never healthy. And it's a disaster. A total abject disaster for the Clippers franchise, which now have a guy that you almost have to play like a sixth man on a max deal for the next couple years. It's a disaster. All right, last thing. So last week,
I'd just like to say I don't approve of this.
Okay, well, I'm just, you're a part of the show. I'm not going to reveal any real secrets or anything.
Right.
Last week, Diorra and I wore UC Santa Cruz, sweatshirts on the show because it was looking like that's where she was going to go to school.
It's still looking like that.
She then found out she got into a school here in New York City. As we've said, she's still waiting to hear back from UC Berkeley. And if anyone watching has some juice at UC Berkeley, you know what I mean? She'd be a wonderful addition to the campus. I have something to tell you about this because I think you believe that I really want you to stay in New York City.
Mm-mm. I don't think that, actually.
You don't think that?
No.
Okay. Do you think mommy really wants you to stay in
Yeah.
New York City? So, Diorra's in, let's assume she doesn't get into UC Berkeley. She's either going to be in Manhattan or across the country.
I'm not going to be in Manhattan.
Oh, I'm saying you're two places.
You keep
that
saying
you've
it's a
been there.
choice.
It's one or the other. You don't know. I'm just
I
saying you don't
know.
know. Well, you haven't even visited this school.
Well, I've been there. Yes,
You've
I
got-
have.
but
I
you-
was there for auditions.
Right, and you probably should talk to, you know what I mean, their drama department and see if anything
No, I'm
jumps
okay.
out at you and these things. You don't want to make rash decisions.
All right.
But I'm on your side on this. I actually think that if you're not from New York City, I think going to college in New York City could be an awesome experience. You understand what I mean? Like if you're from, say you had grown up in Houston where we lived and we never moved here and you got into a college in New York City, then I think that'd be one thing. Because you've spent all of high school here, I do think going to an actual campus and doing all of that would be a great experience. So I'm not trying to, and I'm not going to try to pressure you into any decision. What I will tell you, and I think our YouTube commenters would agree, is you shouldn't make any definitive decisions until you've seen both places.
I've seen.
But you haven't seen Santa Cruz. You got to go there. So you can't say like I'm 100% going there until you've actually walked the campus, felt your feet on the grass, interacted with the students, those types of things. Like this is a major life decision you're making. So you're just dead set.
I told you I was. That's my point here, guys.
Yeah.
Is that me and him have had this conversation, and he's still deciding to have the conversation here now.
Well, I just think, I think that we can talk it through. I am going to miss you, Scoop.
Aw.
I'm going to miss you so much. I just think you should just keep an open mind. Can we keep an open mind, or are we like 5%?
I'm not staying here.
Then why'd you apply there?
That was in case I didn't get into any schools in California.
Oh.
I applied to 17 schools.
You did apply to a lot of schools. We applied to 7. That was good father-daughter bonding time, wasn't it? Come on. Don't leave me hanging. Come on. That was good. Those are good times, filling out those applications.
I have a
sitting
few
together on the
quotes
couch.
from him.
You have a few quotes from me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's something Diorra does. Diorra has
have a
a
quote
file on her phone of taken out of context quotes from me that she says she's
Not
going to
just
use
him,
to...
It's from all of my friends.
Yeah,
I
but-
could cancel him at any
Okay,
given
don't say
moment.
you could cancel me. I don't
could
say
cancel
hold on.
anyone.
No, okay. Again, I don't say cancelable things. That is incorrect. However, Diorra thinks she could, and she's has it as a blackmail book.
No,
like you're
I
that
wouldn't say
comms
it's
lady
that.
on Succession.
I think it's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So that's on her phone, and you're like, I have them from you and my friends. Nobody cares what your silly friends say.
Ooh.
It's not gonna, impact. They're teenagers.
They're not supposed to have an impact. They're supposed to just be funny.
I don't like it. I'm a magnetize your phone.
Magnet.
Erase the phone. All right, your questions, comments next. What's right? All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back in. What's right with Nick Wright? So Diorra, read that first one we have here for our listener comments and questions.
Okay. In the chat, about a dozen people claim Shazam with Sinbad exists. Yogi Jacob lights.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it doesn't. That's the thing is, Sinbad was never in a movie as a genie. But that's the Mandela effect. So many people swear that that movie existed. It simply never existed.
I see pictures of it right here.
Of what?
Him as a genie.
Let me see show me what you're looking at. So the
Legend of the Seven Seas.
there was never Sinbad was never in a movie as a genie. Everybody thinks he was. That now he did for April Fool's Day a few years ago post an image like leaning into the Mandela effect thing as like, hey, here's that movie. But that movie never existed. It never existed. 100%. But everyone swears it did. So there's, again, if people care about the Mandela effect, the most famous one is that when Nelson Mandela died in 2013, thousands of people swore he died on Robben Island in prison in the 80s, but he didn't. So the one that I would have 100% gotten wrong is it was not the Berenstain Bears. It was the Berenstain Bears. But I never would have gotten that right.
Or like the Fruit of the Loom thing.
The Fruit of the Loom thing is crazy
with the,
as well.
cornucopia thing.
Yeah. Go explain that one, Diorra.
I think it's that the cornucopia was never there.
Never in the Fruit of the Loom.
Which I think is absolutely insane.
And so
or Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes is a weird one. The fact that it was never called Cheez-Its. It's Cheez-It.
Really?
Like these are all
or that there's no black at the end of Pikachu's tail.
Well, that one I don't know.
That one's true. There's no black at the end of his tail.
No, I'm saying I don't. I can't picture Pikachu really well.
Or the Monopoly guy doesn't have the thing on his
So
eye.
that one I think I can figure out. The Monopoly guy doesn't have a monocle. Is because people are confusing him with Mr. Peanut. Also, people talk about the fact that in Star Wars, Darth Vader doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. He says, no, I am your father. I don't think that's an example of the Mandela effect. I think that's an example of people in contemporary pop culture getting that line wrong, and therefore we remember it as Luke because other people have said it. Similar to in Forrest Gump, he said life was like a box of chocolates, but whenever people quote that, they say life is like a box of chocolates. I don't think that's the Mandela effect. Now, I will tell you one.
Flintstones?
How about this? Snow White never said mirror, mirror on the wall. She said magic mirror on the wall.
I knew that one.
But again, I think that is... I'll give you a better example for the Mandela effect. Tom Cruise in Risky Business, when he's sliding across you're too young for this. Sliding across the living room, singing in his underwear and socks.
I know that one.
Okay, everyone picture that image.
Uh-huh.
Does he or does he not have sunglasses on?
He does have sunglasses.
He does not, but all of us see him with sunglasses on.
Did someone else reenact it with sunglasses on, and then everyone else just kind of...
So, I don't know, but that's just how people remember it. Hold on. I have to look this one up, because this one, and then we can move on. So, hold on. Hold on. So, this one I find crazy. Absolutely crazy. They are saying that In Silence of the Lambs, I think this is going to blow the producing room's mind. In Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter, never once says, "Hello, Clarice."
Never do that.
He just says good morning. He does not say "Hello, Clarice" once in the entire movie. That's impossible for me to believe. Now my mind is blown. All right, next. Diorra, you can ask Zero's question.
Zero asked, do you think that any of the 6 teams down 3-1 will win a series, or will go...
Or will all of them lose?
Or will all of them lose, yeah.
I think if I were ranking them in order of chance, the Bucks, I think, have still a coin flip chance. Then it drops off a cliff. The Cavs are the only other one that has any chance at all, and it's very, very slim, if not impossible. And then for the Timberwolves, Clippers, Grizzlies, and Hawks, it is impossible. The Bucks have a real chance. Go ahead. What's Connor's question?
Okay, so Connor asked, what did you think of the Davis Garcia fight?
Tank's a son of a gun, man. He's a bad dude. Hit him right in the liver. I know some people were like, oh, it was fixed. Why did he fall like that? That's a liver punch, man. And that is a bad, bad man. 5'5" hitting you, nicknamed Tank, right in the liver. Your knees would buckle too. Next.
Okay, so Jason asks, do you agree that you owe your success to the rise of the Warriors and the Warriors fans that hate
watch you
daily?
No, not at all. My show used to be on at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. It was 3:30 a.m. on the West Coast. I disagree with that. Now, viewership counts as viewership, but no, I don't. I'm not going to give Warriors fans that, and I got no problem with Warrior fans, just the annoying ones, which most of them are. All right, next.
If you could go pro in any, Jacob Connell asks, if you could go pro in any sport, which sport would you choose? And he also says that assuming that you'd be a starting player but not a star.
Oh, basketball. There's no question. He's saying you just imbue me with the athleticism.
Okay.
Baseball would be boring. Oh, I say basketball. But if I'm not a star, but I'm good enough to just do it, the answer might be golf. Because you can do it for 30 years.
I need to send to the group chat that video I have of you golfing.
Which one?
When we were in
Hawaii? When I was crushing?
No, when
What? What are you laughing about?
I need to find that so they can put it
Why?
on the
What's
show.
the video? What am I doing wrong?
It's really funny.
I hadn't golfed in 7 years. And I started playing in Hawaii. I was awesome.
Now he's trying
I was great. No, I hadn't played in
really
7 years. And listen, 1 in every 3 shots was a dead slice, but everything else was excellent.
You guys want to know how many times he lost his ball?
Well, that's the dead slice. You lose your ball, you're playing in Hawaii. Goes off a volcano. But it was still great. All right, read the last. So I think definitely not football. Too much injuries, too short of a career. Not baseball, too boring. Not hockey, don't know the rules. Tennis, the practice seems miserable. It's golf or basketball, no question. All right, last one.
Okay, last one. Carter Sayai said, what moment sticks out most as a proud...
What moments...
sticks out as the most proud you felt for your kids? Any of us?
Well, not you reading that question, that's for sure. Come on. Oh, that was good. That was
My
fun.
dad likes to make fun of my disability.
That's not a disability. Isn't that? You don't have a reading disability. You have a coordination disability, but not a reading disability. So
I can't believe you just said
that. I don't listen. Singular proud moments. There's a million of them. I'll stick out. I'll pick a time for each of you guys. Where you were like performing in like a school or public setting. For DeMonze, DeMonze was playing I think it was Hightower, his junior year of high school. They had a D1 kid on the other team. They were the far, far better team. He was playing at Kempner and had a dominant game. Had a 30-point game and kept his team in it the entirety of the way. They ended up losing, but they had no business being in the game, and it was because he was just a badass that day. Just awesome. And I was sitting there next to the dad of the kid who was a D1 player for the other team, and it was just a really cool, fun, proud moment for me. For Deanna, it was just recently when she was cast as Annie in a play of 4th and 5th graders. She's not only a 4th grader, but the youngest 4th grader, and she crushed and did it confidently and did awesome, and her sister Diorra helped her practice for it and sing, and she did a great job. And for Diorra, it was in this play Amelie a few months ago where she was awesome, stole the show, awesome throughout the entirety of it as this waitress character, but then also had a role in a dream sequence as Elton John, and each of the 3 nights, it was the single best performance of the entire play. It got a standing ovation, brought the house down, was breathtaking. And on that note, by the way, anybody watching that's in the University of California, Berkeley admissions department, if you want to see that video, I can email it to you at any time.
Or if you want to see that video, it's also on my application.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you're getting in. You know what? I didn't know that they accepted that video. You're getting in.
Don't say that too confidently, because it'll be really rough the next podcast.
Well, we'll see. Scoot? Sorry, Diorra, right? 9.2 out of 10.
I don't like. I told you can't do that.
9.2 out of 10.
I
Great
told
job.
you that you have to stop.
Episode 145. What's right? We'll see you guys Thursday.
Toodles.
Hey, it's Nick Wright. Thank you so much for watching. Please do us a favor. Click subscribe. It helps my ego, and DeMonte's got a financial bonus writing on a number of YouTube subscribers, so help him out. And also, click the bell. I don't know what the bell does, but they tell me to tell you to click the bell. And your audio listeners, people that have commutes, drives, whatever it is, subscribe to the podcast as well, wherever you get the podcast. Same show, just in your ears instead of through your eyes. All that. Check it out. Appreciate y'all.